Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. In today's video, I'm bringing you Maxx versus Vynnset. This game definitely didn't play out the way that I thought it would, but this game did teach me some pretty valuable things about the Maxx deck, and that it's actually pretty resilient. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. Yeah, with this deck. So we're going to load the pistol a bunch here. Like, I want to get all of these cards out of my hand. I want to arsenal my jumpstart. That's like, or no, I guess I don't want to do that. I guess I just want to come in for 3 here. And then we'll boost away a blue card. Med-X is a good card because it represents a non-hit effect that we could use for value, but I'm not super concerned about the blue Med-X there. And then we'll activate Maxx. No, we will not crank. And then we will simply arsenal our jumpstart. We did let them do a little bit of filtering that turn, so not ideal. So, I mean, we might as well, I guess we could just hang on to this. This turn's really good. Like, this turn's, very powerful, and, we can do a lot of really good things here. I mean, this turn is go up 1. This is 5, 10, 15, 19, 21 points off 5 cards. Let's try to think if there's a better option here, honestly. I'm trying to figure out if there's, a better option than just throwing 21 points. I mean, maybe we're just supposed to throw 21 points here. Because we pitch our hyperdriver to go down to 1, we go back up to 2, play this, play this, play this. Or our turn could be, how can we set up the hyperdriver in a positive way? So we pitch zipper hit to play this, go back up to 1, play hyperdriver, cranking. So now we have 2 hyperdrivers on 1, pitch our other zipper hit to activate Teklo Foundry Heart. Activate Maxx, do not crank, and then arsenal our 0 to 60. So we get to throw 5. We get to spend more cards here. I don't know. Part of me just kind of wants to take our good turn here. Yeah, so I mean, they make a rune chant. Or I guess they're going to make 2 rune chants because the blood debt triggers. Or no, I guess that happens before blood debt. I don't know. And I guess the important thing here is that we're still going to have a hyperdriver in play. We're not just completely gone away from the concept of our combo. We're just taking our 21 point turn here. This is a really solid turn. And if we wanted to activate Heart and use Accelerator, we could make it 23. But again, Accelerator is pretty much always just going to be for Mechanoid combo. I feel like the games where you're actually going to use it to crack and try to have another pistol shot is going to be few and far between, but they do. I think those games will exist. And honestly, maybe I'm just supposed to arsenal my 0 to 60 here. Just have a 17 point turn off 4 cards and then arsenal my last 0 to 60, because if they if our 0 to 60 is at our arsenal, it makes our maximum velocity automatically better if we draw it. And we haven't boosted over 1 yet, so it's not crazy high chance that we draw 1 right here, but it's possible. Anything, anything's possible here. So our opponent's going to take 2 and go to 34. That's what it feels like. Our opponent goes to 34. We throw the pistol. Depending on what they want to do with their turn, they might just pass and just or they might just say no blocks, go to 32. They blocked pretty efficiently that turn, so So we're just gonna pitch, and we're just gonna block the rune chance here, actually. Like, is 0 to 60 worth, like, giving up an entire turn? Probably not, but I don't know. And then this is for 6. They're not threatening a pummel here, and this turn cycle pretty much puts us in a place where our opponent just lost some life and we didn't lose anything. And then I guess we're just going to come in for 3 with no boost here, and we're going to see if they let this hit. They more than likely have a card that they want to block with, so I can't imagine there's a world where this actually hits and they let us opt one, but could happen. You never know. Yep, so they block this out. Every time I see widespread destruction on Talishar, I still think, oh, like, it's still the proxy version. Like, it's still, like, the early version that they put on Talishar where, like, the borders weren't, like, cut very well. And, like, it still just looks, like, not that clean when I see it on Talishar. Yeah, 4, 8, 11, 21. So, hoping that, I was like, they didn't banish a widespread destruction there, so that's kind of good for us. So, we'll take that. They also can't pummel us. If they had a resource floating, we would have to be a little bit aware of the pummel. Vynnset is, like, pretty commonly known at this point, I feel like, for playing pummel. Like, and then this is 6, or I'm sorry, 9 because of the envelop in darkness. So this is 9, no effect. And then we just get to throw 21 at our opponent. So we were up 4 when the turn started, and now we're down 7. And then let's see here. We'll actually get an extra resource, so we can load the pistol here before we start doing our stuff. All right. Get an extra resource. We'll come in for 3 here with the zipper hit. This probably gets met by a card, I would imagine. Like, Vynnset's one of those decks that likes to play like that weird like value game where like they like block and then like, you know, throw 6 to 7, block 6, throw 6 to 7. So I mean, Vynnset's pretty good at like playing the whole like walking the life totals down game, and that's probably one of its like scariest things. Is that like if you're tied with it going in like towards the end of the game, like it's kind of scary. Because Vynnset's also playing Spellbound Creepers and like Revel, so they can just randomly be like, "Oh, Revel," like cry yourself to sleep tonight kind of thing. So something you have to watch out for. Do. All right. So our opponent actually takes 3 there. I'm a little surprised by that, but hate to see Twin Drive gone. That's a card that plays very well with like a lot of our power cards, so our opponent must have like a pretty good turn here. Like they must have like one of their Revel turns or something if they're hanging on to this. Because I mean, like so far they've taken 7 damage. Interesting. They've just taken 11 damage here, and then we're just going to throw the maximum velocity. Now, they still have their, like, fridge of blocking here if they want it. Like, they haven't used any of it yet. Like, but taking 9 here, like, I assume they'd give Grasp or something just to, like, save some life. But going to 9 is, like, that's a scary thought. Like that's a lot of damage to take in one turn. Like, you're talking about them just taking 21 damage. Yeah. Did I miss something? Where did I get an extra point from? 3, 4 is 7, and 4 is 11, and 10's 21. But they started the turn at... Oh, no, they took 1 off their Blood Debt to go to 30. I always forget that Blood Debt's a thing because Blood Debt hasn't really been a big part of the game since Chain was gone, if you're playing CC anyway. So it's not really something to, like... It's not something that you have to keep in the front of your mind. Like, Blood Debt damage is not a common thing to run into. Carly and I went with a couple of our friends and did an escape room today, and it was a lot of fun. Like we live in, like, I don't know, like there's like, I think there's like 60, 80, like 60, somewhere between 60 and 80,000 people in the town that Carly and I live in. And, you know, there's not like a ton of major attractions around here, but they put a it's like a dinner theater, like escape room combo in a town about 15 minutes from us. And so we went and did that today, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Like, it was a really good experience. To, like, Game Master, like, was, like, really, like, you know, like, very interactive and, like, talked to us a lot. Like, it was a cool experience. I'm, like, really glad we got to go and do it. I mean, like, you hate to waste a Harpoon hand because Harpoon is just so good. Like, and I could just play High Octane from my hand, and if I hit another blue, I get to just go Data Link, Pulse Wave Harpoon, pistol you a couple of times, and if I draw a red, like, if it's a red 0, then I still have 2 floating, and that's okay. And there are quite a few 0s in our deck because we're trying to make maximum velocity happen as much as possible. Maybe I also need to be thinking about what this turn looks like if I don't get to keep all of my cards. Like, I think we're definitely looking at arsenaling our High Octane here if we don't get to keep all 4 of our cards. So this only costs 3. Or, I mean, this gets +3. Deathly Well. If they had, like, I guess if they pitch a blue to activate Grasp, they can come in with a Deathly Well and pummel it. Or they can just play the Widespread Annihilation. So we take 0 damage here, and then we get to just block 9. We get to keep our life lead here, which is really important. We're, like, really trying to play the value game this time around with Maxx, and I think that's something that I wasn't really trying to do the last time I was playing Maxx. I'm just going to shoot my pistol here. Like, there's no guarantee that I can always shoot my pistol as many times as I want to, just because of the Mechanoid combo. There might be some argument here to me actually not using my pistol for the sake of having an extra time to shoot it with High Octane. But it's 2 now or 2 later. Like, it doesn't change anything here. We also only have 2 equipment block left. We have our quote-unquote fridge with Maxx, if you will. Tickler Foundry Heart just blocking for, 3 over the course of the game, and then Galvanic Bender and Hyper X blocking for 1 each. But if we do assemble our combo, then Galvanic Bender is worth, like, 1 block and 7 offense, which means if you get to play the entire value of the game with Galvanic Bender and Mechanoid, your arm piece is worth like 7 to 8 points, which is, like, so good. Like, making an equipment worth 7 to 8 points is just honestly, like, insane. So we're probably just taking whatever they do here because like nothing looks too scary to me. Okay, so they have to do that. And then this is shadow puppetry, so it's for +1. Who lost a life? Okay, so this is unpreventable, which is fine. They want to make sure. Oh, so they're taking a life. We're gonna guaranteed lose a life, which means they're gonna use Deathly Will to get 2 rune chants here. I mean, I'm pretty inclined just to take 7 here, go to 14. They're gonna break the combat chain. At least I assume they're going to. They're probably processing their on-hit effect here is what we're looking at. So they're going to break the combat chain, give themselves 2 rune chants because they paid for Vynnset and we lost a life here. They chose not to banish it. They have to actually click the break the combat chain icon. Okay, or not. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use my HyperX to block that because they're taking a life here to deal nothing to us, which I would call a total win here. Let's see what we high octane into here. Like, we have a few options of things we could actually hit. I could just play the next high octane, which seems a little greedy. So let's come in for 3. Okay, so there's 1 mechanoid. We haven't seen any other mechanoids here. So this is for 3. They could decide to take this, and if they do, we're actually gonna like really get them with the hyperdriver play here. So our opponent blocks, which I think is pretty smart on their part. We're going to play this. We are going to crank so that we keep our action point. Did we boost another mech suit? Oh no, we boosted a hyperdriver that went under the HyperX. Okay, gotcha. So this goes into the HyperX 3. So we're going to come in for 5, which, I mean, like, our opponent doesn't have to block. They can take some damage here if they want to, but, like, they're probably going to block. And then we have 3 action points, so we're going to activate Heart. I would have loved to have banished that. Like, I wish that this was just when you banished it. That would be so much better. Like, HyperX would be insane if that was the case. HyperX is like, I think people are selling them right now for roughly $50. I'm kind of worried I'm going to have to pick up HyperX's for ProQuest season. Just because I think that Maxx is going to be like a solid deck. Like, I think that Maxx presents a lot of value and can do a lot of really cool things. So, all right, I'm going to arsenal my high octane here, and we're going to try to have back-to-back big high octane turns. I'm going to pitch my hyperdriver to play high octane here. Like, by far, like, the best play here, because we have potential. They activated Vynnset. Yeah, we have to take this, which is fine. Like, I don't think there's a reason for us to block this turn. So we take 6, go to 5 here. I'm going to see what they do here, because Deathly Delight's for 5. Like, and don't get me wrong, like it's a very good card, but they also didn't take the play of playing 2 cards last turn. And I'm curious to see if they're going to take their line that they can use to play 2 cards this turn. Okay, so they are going to. Okay. Block 4, go to 2. And my opponent's going to go to 5. Which is tough. Like, we're in that dangerous part of the game where I told you guys, like, this is a very real possibility that we get to a point in the game where, like, we're in rough shape. So let's pitch the hyperdriver here and see what we draw. So we're not really looking to like mech suit it up this game, I don't think. Like, I mean, we could. Like, we still have 2 left in our deck. It is still a thing we could do. We no longer have high octanes. We've just had to use our high octanes as value turns. Like, just to like have good value. This is 2. Our opponent's not required to give us a card here by any means. Okay, so they give us a 2 block. Don't really know what those resources are for. Them doing that there makes me think that they're going to just... that they have like a reduced to rune chant. Okay, so they do have a reduced to rune chant. And then we have 3 action points. So technically, we only get 1 card out of their hand unless we want to use Heart. And we want to use... if we want to use Heart and Accelerator here, we can actually get all the cards out of their hand here. I don't know. It's like kind of aggressive because like... I mean, our opponent might just give us all of their cards. I don't know. Kind of have to see. Yo, what's up, Richard? How are you, buddy? You enjoying a Sunday afternoon, man? All right, so our opponent goes to 3. We're gonna activate Heart. And then we're going to give ourselves the option to be able to actually we're going to give ourselves the option to use our last pistol if we want to here. Because they're going to be forced to give it to us. Which means we take the rune chant. Like, if they go... actually, I think we can just kind of end the game here. Right? Let's make sure we don't do something stupid. So if we get rid of our arcane barrier, they have to pay a life. They have to pay a life to attack us. And they can't do that or they die. So we're going to activate Accelerator. Like, we're taking a chance here, but I think we're giving ourselves our best opportunity here to win the game. Maybe I'm just supposed to pass, since they're already at 1. And then they can't attack us, and this costs resources to activate, so we just have to keep taking all the cards out of their hand, which we're not guaranteed to do, but... wait, what? Oh, I guess we did have 1 more high octane. That's kind of convenient. Finally sat down. Went to see Saw X. Pretty good if you like the Saw franchise. Really digging Maxx. I mean, dude, I was like, I've watched a lot of the Saw franchise like over the years. Like, it's like scary movies aren't really my thing if I'm being honest, but like, I mean, they're good. Like, I've watched a lot of them over the years. I'm glad it was good though, man. I'm glad you liked it. So this is game, right? The only thing that can kill me here is double Sigil of Suffering, which I'm going to be honest, I don't even think our opponent's on Sigil of Suffering. And dude, Maxx is really cool. Like, Maxx is a lot of fun, and like Maxx presents a lot of like really cool lines, and I think like forces you to say, if you're going to play like anti-fatigue, like you really got to like make sure that like you're stacking your deck and like you're pitching correctly. Like, it's not a super easy thing to like it's not a super easy thing to like play around. That's one thing that mechanologists has always kind of suffered from, is just getting fatigued. And so like Maxx has that problem more than most, like more than regular Dash and like more than Tickle of Austin, I would say by far. Probably, I think Maxx is the number one hero that can get fatigued, like by far, in my opinion. Like the number one mechanologist hero that can get fatigued. Yeah, so let's just take this. I mean, our opponent definitely could have blocked, but my opponent actually started off applying some pretty decent pressure and really took tempo early on in the game. There was one big turn cycle that really swung everything in my favor. My opponent only blocks 4 on my maximum velocity turn, keeping all 4 cards and their arsenal card. So I'm thinking that they're going to have this crazy big turn. But all our opponent did was make a Runeshan and come in with Widespread Annihilation, which I pitched a red card for and block 6 to kind of just set up a good arsenal. All in all, it was pretty close, and it felt good to win a game without having to assemble the mech suit. As always, if you guys think that I missed anything or could point out some better lines, hit me up in the comments below. I'm always open to that. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. Take it easy.